welcome to Starshell Links, and this is going to be a video on fire element signatures. So, fire element, a little something about the fire element. They are all about consumption and destruction and greatness. And yeah, that is. Oh yeah, and they bring about change. They bring about a lot of change in a lot of magical practices. Uh, Fire energy is the energy that you call upon if you want change in your life, if you want change within yourself. So, what are fire types like? So, fire energy is the one with the ego. Well, we can say that with. Now I'm thinking, you can say that with earth energy and with water also, but then with fire, you can really feel that ego. Even air energy has ego, all right? I mean, they really do, but I mean, with air energy, they will talk about it and you will know upfront. But with with fire types, you feel their ego in everything they do. They just, it's because of fire, you can't not give fire your attention. So yeah, so fiery types are, well, very fiery, feisty. um, they lust after things, they have obsessions, they are very determined also, in that they, once they start doing something, they really want to finish it, they really need to finish it. And yeah, that's a very fire characteristic. And the different types of fire elements, fire types are fire air, fire water, fire earth. So fire air is like the sun. So it is someone with supreme ego, and I don't say this in a bad way, because in spirituality there's a lot of talk about, um, you need to separate yourself from the ego, you need to I don't like that, because you need to have a bit of ego. it is it is part of your identity, so why would you want to lose your identity? Because everything has an identity. This tree has an identity of its own, and you get what I'm saying, right? So fire air, fire air, fire air is someone with, so the air element, right, is all about ideas, thoughts, um, a need to balance things, and a need to fill the void. So fire, with its drive, with its passion, with its need to consume, need to uh, do something, be active with something to the point of even destruction. When these two combine, it makes a person want to reach for greatness. See, this is what ego does. It helps a person, or it helps a person connect with wanting something, taking something, deserving something. it all connects to ego. If you have no ego, you're not going to be bothered with anything material. You're not going to be bothered uh, with amassing wealth, with amassing a name, with creating something. Uh, Ego drives, and it's a good thing. It's a very healthy thing. Because if the sun didn't shine so bright, if it didn't exist at all, we wouldn't be here, right? And that's what fire air people are like. Fire air people, they can be very selfish. They have an idea and they just want to do it their way no matter what. It's very Aries energy. So they go out into this world, they have this idea, and they're like a one track pony. They just want to do it, and they want to do it with everything they've got, and they're pretty selfish. They take everything for themselves. But the thing with this, the reason why I say it's not a bad thing, it's because fire air energy people are like the sun. They are like the hearth. They're like the fireplace. Yeah, they just bring, they exude a lot of warmth, they exude a lot of passion, they exude a lot of creativity, and people flock towards them. So they are literally the sun in people's lives. If they think that the world revolves around them, they won't be wrong. So that's fire air. And fire water. So water brings in this element of gentleness, compassion, wisdom, uh, healing, and love. And then you have this opposite element, fire, which is primary. And then you also have the fact that water can put out fire. And conversely, fire can eliminate water, can just boil it up into steam, evaporate the whole thing. So fire, water people, a lot of people that have bipolar disorders and things like that, they tend to be um, either fire, water, or some other conflicting elements, because they have these two things warring with themselves, this desire to go and get what they want, and this side of them that always wants to be there for other people, to help, to heal, to whatever. And so often when they're younger, they be very dramatic, they be very volatile, 1 minute hot, 1 minute cold. uh, they are the artists, they are the hippies, they are the activists. They grow up to be activists most of the time. They grow up to be people that take up a cause. Uh, they grow up to be the people who fight the good fight, who live to serve. So that's fire, water. And then we have fire, earth. Now, fire, earth is the most grounded of fire types, obviously. And so earth has this building tendency, whereas fire has the destructive tendency. When these two combine, you have someone who is very driven to making a mark, to building an empire. It's very Leo energy again. So, fire earth is concerned with using whatever they're passionate about for something that's actually useful, that's actually practical, that can actually do something. And with all fire types, it always has to be something great. That's what fire is all about at the end. It's all about something great. Forget about being destructive, being passionate. Oh well, I can't say forget about being passionate, because according to all fire types, anything great is or does fuel them with passion. If it if yeah, they don't have much patience for anything that is dull, except the fire earth types. The fire earth types would read a bunch of dry texts. They could suffer through endless, tedious discipline just so that they can reach their end goal. They are incredibly driven. The other fire types, they wouldn't stand for such things. If something doesn't interest them, then to hell with that. But fire earth types, they can do anything. They can do anything they put their mind to. So yeah, that is the fire types. And let me see. Do I have time? Okay, so it's only been 11 minutes. So I'm going to put water in here too, because I feel like fire and water, they are very twin elements. They kind of mirror each other in some ways. Fire is the brother and water is the sister. So yeah, so water is very healing, very compassionate, very earthbound. Water can't do anything but go along with gravity, except when there is heat in the mix. And so let's start with the water fire then. So water fire types, now you have water, a lot of water, and you also have fire, which is a very destructive element. But then when you have a dominance of fire, I mean a dominance of water, the fire is mostly very gentle. Okay, it's mostly like evaporation. Actually, no, you know what? It's not like evaporation. I'm sorry. That's water air. So water fire is, well, I know a water fire person who I can say that they have magma energy, because it's basically all fire, but it flows like water. Or would that be fire or water energy? Water fire. You know why I say water fire? Because the flow, the the behavior is all water, and when something is so intrinsically water, it is water. It just has fiery characteristics, eh, which means that it can burn the hell out of you. So, so yeah, um, water fire can be like magma, and that's the only reference in nature that I know of. If you guys have any ideas, please let me know in the comments below. But so basically, when water has this destructive element towards in it, what what happens is, one, there's a danger of self-elimination, self-destruction. Um, Water fire people are capable of turning inwards uh, into themselves, and being like they're capable of attacking themselves. They're capable of feeling guilty about something probably that they've not done, because fire, right? Fire is kind of selfish, and fire wants what it wants, whatever it wants. And when they answer to their fire needs, they're still water, so they are still very capable of feeling guilty when the society, pressures them or tells them, what are you doing? So, water fire people, they kind of have it tough. They're like fire or water. So it's the same thing, just a change of perspective. So fire water people would be they would want to do something for other people, but they would sort of struggle to find the right way, or the right way to do something, so that they can be themselves, they can feed their own needs, they can have their own lifestyle, they can be as independent as they like. So that's the fire water type. But water fire is different in that they they are they really want to be there for people, they really want to do something, they want to help out, they want to heal, uh, but they just can't help helping themselves, which is a good thing. But then, with society being as it is, uh, makes them prone to feeling guilty uh, about being selfish, which is a perfectly natural thing to be. So, something else about water fire. Actually, if I were to concentrate on magma is like lifeblood. Um, they are people. So water needs connection more than anything, especially if it's paired with fire. They want to feel passionately about people, and they often forge a family for themselves. See, this is the difference. Fire water would want to be independent and do their own thing, but help others. uh, but water fire, they really want their family, they want to be connected, they'll do anything for their family. They they are the lifeblood of the family. um, and that's where the fire usually shines for the people, to protect them, to nurture them, to climb over whatever mountains, go to heaven or hell for them, that's they're pretty intense. Yeah, that way they can get very possessive, that's true. um, but yeah, they are very sensitive too at the same time. And moving on, so we're done with water fire, now moving on to water air. So water air, so on one side I feel the compassion, the wisdom, the whatever, and then on the other side they have air, ideas, thoughts. So in the previous video I was talking about air water being all about philosophy, but water air kind of is all about the people, it's all about the connections, the feelings, and everything, all about life. But they arrive at philosophy. They don't start out from there, they arrive at it. They start out from feeling the way they feel about different things. They start out with their whimsical nature. They start out with being so it's very Piscean energy, and water, air are people who would have a lot of difficulty forming a kind of identity for themselves, because they are capable of feeling anything at any time. They I'm sorry. Since I am water air energy, I'm like right now as I'm talking about the energy, I'm thinking about myself, and I'm sort of like like it's bringing a lot of memories up into my mind. So yeah, but anyway, so water air. So when the secondary element is air, okay, let me put it this way. So air has a tendency of getting people kind of stuck, or so the thing is, air represents thoughts, right? But we as a human species, although we've been around for a while, we have not mastered our thoughts yet. We haven't. And so air energy is the one that's always constantly imbalanced. And with air types, that is the ones that have air as primary energy, they tend to be imbalanced quite a lot, because they have an excess of air energy to deal with. But those that have air as a secondary energy, they tend to manage it better, but they're just not as fact friendly as the air types. So what this does is, like, water air energy, water is about wisdom and air has knowledge, and water is about answering needs, whereas air is about balancing things out and answering to pressure. So water air types are very momentary. They damn it, the thing is, I keep getting stuck on water air, and I feel like telling my entire life story, but you know what, I'll leave it for last. So we're done with water fire. Let's move on to water earth. So water earth are the most, they're like lakes. Okay, you can have a whole ecosystem in them. They are also very family oriented, but they are not the lifeblood of the family like water fire. They are more like the home. they are more like the home. They are they are supremely feminine in their energy, because of course water and earth, they're very nourishing, they're very caring. They can actually, they make the best nurses and mothers. They can actually, be there for you day in and day out. um, they need a lot of appreciation though. And okay, so now I can talk about water, air. Okay, so water, air, unlike the other two, are more removed from attachment. That's the way to yeah, that's the best way to differentiate them from the others. So water, fire is um, very driven, very attached, um, can, give their life for someone, as long as it's family, things like that. And water, earth is home energy. It's the people that you turn to. They're very healing. They're very nurturing. They are providers. They are great providers. They're um, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the the more often the people that do all the good work but don't get enough thanks for it. So if you are water, earth energy, thank you. Yeah, and then there's water, air, which they want to be there for people, but they can't. They always have this need to go off and answer some other need out there in some other place, away from family, away from home. And water, air is often also some of the wisest people out there, um, because of the fact that water is wisdom, air is knowledge. So they come from a place of wisdom to knowledge. So they get to a lot of these interesting facts that are not just facts but very useful things in life. Uh, they're not very practical, admittedly, but yeah, they have no need to be practical. So yeah. Now I'm getting too conscious of explaining about water, air, but yeah. So I think I'm done. Huh. Whoa, this is a long video. But yeah, anyway, I hope this explained fire types and water types. And let me know, what do you think you are?